What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a guide going over everything you need to know about gardening and farming in Digimon NetDriver. This is a brand new game, it just came out, and this is everything that we as a community have gathered in regards to gardening and farming. We're going to be talking about what specific items do and how to optimize and get the most out of your garden. This is going to be the most important thing you do in this game. It's going to be more important than battles. It's going to be building your whole resource economy. So if you guys want to see more guides like this, think about let me know in the comments, think about leaving a like, think about dropping a sub if you appreciate this sort of content, and if there's anything you have questions about, please leave a comment. I'm going to do my absolute best to answer every single comment I get. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into it and show you guys this little picture right here. So this picture right here is going to be showing basically how you get the flowchart path for every single bit of gardening material. You can see you start with the meat in the top left, you go down to the big meat, then up to the sirloin, and we're going to be able to break this down in a little bit more detail. But I think this is going to be a very, very important resource which you can find in the Discord for this game. And I have a link to the Discord if you guys want to know a little bit more about competitive play. If you guys want to see where this actually came from, it's all in the Discord. But basically, the garden is going to be how you grow food in this game. It's going to be really, really, really important. So what you want to be doing is growing your food. It starts off with meat in the top left. You see we have this meat right here. And what we can do is we can always just use the meat that we buy from the shop or get given at the start of the game. Or what we can do is we can plant it. Let's plant one meat. Let's plant, let's plant a mushroom over here. You can see I have a mushroom I can plant and eat. These are the same amount. They restore the same amount. So we're going to plant that. And then we're also going to plant a carrot. We're also going to plant a carrot, so put that in the plant as well. One thing you want to do once you've planted everything is then go into your activities list and check your garden, and then from there you can see the time that it actually has available to hatch all these things right here. You see an hour, two hours for the meat, 3 hours for the mushroom, and 2 hours for the carrots. There's going to be different timers that all of these take, but you can actually speed up this time by fertilizing it with your poop. A lot of people have been asking me questions about how to use the poop to fertilize. All you got to do is simply click the poop. So it's going to be right here. You click it, you see how it goes yellow, and then you put it in the slot. You see it went down a half an hour. So you always want to be fertilizing your stuff. So always be gathering all the poop that your Digimon so graciously give you. It's one of the tips I included in my top 5 videos, my beginner tips, which went up a couple days ago. Think about checking them out if you want a little bit more of a in-depth guide into some of those little tips. But basically, fertilizing your stuff is always going to be really, really important. And one thing that I want to do is kind of explain what a bunch of these items do. So if we go take a look at some of the items that are already in my box, we can see there's the different meats, right? So you can see the first meat is going to be restoring just a little bit of food. A little bit of your Digimon's, like food bar. It's just going to store a little bit. The big meat, the next one up, is going to restore a lot. And then the ultimate meat is going to be the sirloin. It's going to fill your Digimon in excess. It's going to give them a lot. You can also see on this little picture that I have in the bottom right, there's a stage after that, which is like the purple meat. And honestly, that meat, you don't really want to plant your meat and have it like go bad. Like you don't want to ever really plant a sirloin. You can actually even go to the shop and talk to them a little bit. Every once in a while when you talk to the shop, you also get an acorn. That's another food item. We're going to talk about that in a sec. If your Digimon is underweight, you'll get given an acorn. But let's see. Every once in a while when you talk to the shopkeeper, the meat has a growing limit. So that limit is going to be the sirloin right there. When you plant the meat the third time, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be planting the meat, fertilizing it, harvesting it, replanting the meat, harvesting it, fertilizing it, all the way up to that sirloin level. But it has a growing limit. Once it goes to that purple meat, it's bad. The only thing that really eats that is Numamon, and it's not that great. So you don't really want to be over planting your meats and planting those sirloins. Just go to the sirloin and then be done with it. The next thing we want to really talk about is going to be, there it is, they got the poop right there. The next thing we're going to be talking about is like broccolis. I don't really have any broccolis on this account, but if we go into the shop, you can see a little bit about the broccolis here. Right here, so vegetables or broccolis. So the broccolis are going to be able to make the white arrows appear more when you're training. So if you go into the training area, which is going to be right here, so training right here, you can see, let's move this over here. Let's see if I click something, if any white arrows even appear. Let's move this. Professional streamer guy extraordinaire, right? So we're going to click HP. There's one white arrow. So those white arrows are going to be more prevalent if you're using broccoli. And I did get the broccoli. I did get it. Awesome. Go me. I'm awesome, right? Those are going to be more prevalent if you have the broccoli. And so generally people say you should be using the broccoli more than using the carrots, just because it's going to be a little bit better. But I would say the broccolis are pretty important. Got to feed this guy, so I'm going to give him one of the big meats right here. Bam, easy peasy. And yeah, I think that the broccolis are still pretty cool, but people like to say they make the white arrows appear more when you're training, so it's pretty prevalent if you want to actually hit, max out your training area up here and get the right amount of stats to evolve and stuff like that. The next thing we want to talk about is the apple. The apple is an item in the shop. I have a blue apple right now, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But so far, everything we know about the apple is it's only able to be purchased on Tuesdays. And apples, if you plant them, can do a couple different things. The apple is going to be that golden apple in the middle. I don't know why it has like that icon for it on the official like little art that was shown. But you can either get 2 apples when you grow them, or you can get a rare apple, which is going to be green or blue. And if you actually see in my inventory here, we have a blue apple, and so it says a very rare apple obtained after harvesting. It revitalizes your Digimon. So this is actually going to be able to reduce your fatigue. So for everyone curious, is like, how do I reduce my fatigue? My Digimon are always so fatigued. I'm hitting fatigue cap. Like, the blue apples are going to be able to lower that fatigue. I don't actually know what the green apple does, and I did a lot of asking, but I can't tell what the green apple does. Some people said they might have stuff to do with Numamon, but I actually can't tell. Who knows? They might increase, like, I don't really know, like your happiness. Like, I have no idea what the green apples increase. So again, we're still figuring things out as a community. Think about joining the Discord if you have any more specific questions. Heck, by the time people are watching this video, people might have already figured out in the Discord what the green apples do. Or someone could leave a comment. Check the comments. There's always so many people that watch these videos, and then they leave like the answers to all my questions in the comments. So it's actually really, really cool stuff. Next thing we want to talk about is acorns here. So you can see the acorn here. You saw I got given one by the shopkeeper a little bit earlier. If your Digimon is underweight, you can sometimes talk to the shopkeeper every single like new evolution of a Digimon. And if you're underweight, which is red right here, you will get given an acorn. And you can plant the acorns, and if you plant an acorn, you're gonna get twice the acorn investment every single time, so you're gonna get more acorns. Acorns are just something you use to raise your Digimon's weight, which is gonna increase their net defense and stuff like that. Can also help you get like Burpmon, Big Mamamon, and a couple other Mons that are very, very heavy. But they also take a lot longer to, grow than some other things. Do I have one growing here right now? Sorry, let me check. I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't have one growing, but they usually take about 3 hours to grow an acorn. So just letting you know, it takes a while to grow an acorn. So normally what I like to do is plant my acorns right before I go to bed, because they're going to take the longest to hatch. But then from there, you can either get 2 acorns or you can get rare acorns. I've heard people talk about the golden acorn, and people see when you use like the golden acorn on like a Guardramon or like a Numamon, it can turn them into the golden versions of those Mons, which is actually really, really cool. And then the crystal acorn you can see like on our picture right there, that actually vendors into the shop for 900 bits, which is great for buying a whole bunch more meat, a whole bunch of bits and stuff like that. Sorry, a whole bunch more drivers and things like that. So I would greatly recommend vendoring those crystal acorns. Really, really cool stuff. We love to see that. And the last thing we want to really talk about that's on this list, have we talked about carrots? I think you just get more carrots every single time. Carrots are something we have growing right now. It makes training more efficient. So what carrots do is they just remove the red arrows. So remember, we were talking about doing training, right? And there were the white arrows and the red arrows, and the broccoli makes white arrows more prevalent, and the carrots just make your red arrows like go less prevalent. Well, you can just like skill diff like losing the red arrows. Once you get used to the training game and the little bit of delay that it has in clicking it, you should just be able to not click the red arrows in the first place, in my opinion. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I have a good eye for that sort of stuff, but the red arrows don't really bother me. They just remove the red arrows. So you don't really need to be growing carrots all that often. Let's talk about the mushrooms. So the mushrooms are going to be very similar to the base food. It just sort of fills your Digimon a bit, but you can see they have a few different flowcharts and a few different paths. There are things called happiness mushrooms, which if you plant and fertilize your mushrooms, you can get a happiness mushroom, which will in turn raise your Digimon's like a happiness level, which is going to be required for a lot of different evolutions. That's one line. And if you plant those again, you can get something called a chaos mushroom. And chaos mushrooms are a little bit weird. It's that little angry purple mushroom in the top right. It's going to be, I have it written down here, it's going to be able to give you a lot more of those white arrows when you're going to be doing training mode, but it costs 10% of your happiness, and it also gives you a care mistake, but it does restore like 30% of your food, so it's going to be able to restore as much as like a big meat in terms of like your food health bar, but it's going to be it's going to be making your Digimon hate you, and at the same time, it's going to be a care mistake. So it might be something that's like required to get like Dark Tyrannomon or some of those more like complicated adult stages that need like specific care mistakes and stuff like that. So I think it's cool they include it in the game, but you probably don't want to be using too many Chaos Mushrooms if you don't have to. That's just my general opinion. Sometimes when you plant the mushrooms, you'll just get 2 mushrooms back, and sometimes you'll even get rare mushrooms. So we have the solar mushroom and the lunar mushroom, and so what those do, the solar mushrooms, which I don't have a solar mushroom, but you can see it on the right-hand side, top right-hand side of that graph, is it's going to be able to increase the value of your training during the daytime, and the lunar mushroom is going to be able to increase the value of your training in the nighttime. So I think those are most of the items. There's a bunch of other things you can plant, but again, being able to completely like optimize your garden, like this is what you should be spending all of your time on, is like maximizing the amount of time that you're growing stuff. Like this is the most important thing. I have a guide coming out in a few days that talks about how if you're playing this game and you're just stuck getting Numamon over and over and over again, that's completely fine, because Numamon can actually be fed just by using the poop, right? So you actually can take that time to keep that mon alive for a couple days, just feeding it poop and just harvesting as much food, as much vegetables, carrots, broccolis, apples, all those things as possible, to where when you actually want to level up and get the specific Digimon you want, you have the resources in the bank to pull from. If you guys have any questions at all about this game, please think about letting me know. I'll do my absolute best to answer every single one. If you guys have liked this video, think about dropping a sub. We're trying to get YouTube pardon, which means we need to get to about 1,000 subs, so I would really appreciate it if you took the time to drop a sub. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this game, and yeah, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.